You're about to watch the most important parkour video that I wish I had when I first started training. Because I used to watch all these random YouTube videos with no order, no structure, and it was just so confusing. So what took me over 20 years of parkour experience, I've condensed it down to the top 30 parkour skills with the step-by-step tutorials that you can get started right now. And I bet that if you can do all 30 skills, you'll be better than 95% of parkour athletes who've ever trained this sport. Plus, I got a bonus for you. You can download our free parkour checklist down below and you can tick off all the skills as you learn them one at a time. So let's get out there, train hard, and turn you into a parkour athlete. Let's go. Welcome to your first element of parkour, the most important foundational skill that you need to master, and that is impacts.
The sideways roll, the most important parkour roll that you'll be learning in this whole entire academy. It's actually more important than the shoulder roll, which we'll be learning after. So let's break straight into it. Step one, if you're rolling that way, you want to make sure that your feet are facing sideways. So we're going that direction, but your feet are facing that way. Step two, your hands are super important. We're going to do the triangle method. Triangles go onto the floor because if your hands aren't there, the second thing that's going to hit the floor is your face. We do not want this. So, sideways position, triangle, hands on the floor, getting ready to roll. Step number three, when you're on the floor with your triangle, the most important thing is that we do not go over our head. Our head never touches the floor. This is a sideways roll, so we want to make sure that we're going over our back. And so when you're on the floor like this, you're going to drop your elbow, roll over into the upside down position, and then keep going. You should always exit sideways. If you're exiting forward, you're doing it wrong. Just make sure that you're going over your back more. So remember, once you're in sideways, triangle on the floor, roll over your back, you should still be sideways. Sideways in, sideways finish. The animal landing. Sometimes when you fall off something or jump off it, you don't really want to do a shoulder roll. So we're going to use all of our hands and feet to take the impact with animal landings. So let's break down. So with your animal landings, we're going to use our hands, shoulders, body, and legs to absorb impact. And so if you imagine somebody's going to punch you in the stomach, you're going to tense your whole body for just half a second. That's exactly what happens when you hit the floor. And so when you hit the floor, you're going to tense your body up, and then we're going to use the rest of our body to then exit. Step number one, you're going to be using your hands, but you do not need to do triangles, but make sure you're going to go open hands for this. If you close your hands, or even I see people bend their fingers, you're just gonna crush it when you hit the floor. So make sure open hands, ready to take the impact. Step number two, this is all about on how you absorb the impact. Because whether you're jumping off something really high, it could be even low, or you accidentally fell off something super tall, when you hit the floor, it's going to be heavy. And so we do not want jelly legs, right? Not jelly shoulders, because if you're gonna do that, you're going to crumple into the floor. And so what we need instead is for you to be nice and strong all the way through, so when you hit the floor with your legs and your hands, you're ready to absorb. Nice and strong. Step number three, the exit out of your animal landings. So when we fall off something and we go straight down, all of our energy is going to the floor. But this is going to hurt our knees, our hips, and everything else because we're absorbing it here. So we want to go that way. So as you fall to the floor, we're going to lean forward, use your hands and your feet to push in a forward direction. So when you come down, you always exit out of an animal landing. Step number 4, this is sort of optional because it comes down to how you position yourself. The same as a roll, whether you do sideways or forwards, it's the same with animal landings. If you fall off something, you can either fall forward, fall sideways, or even fall backwards. The way you land, the way you position yourself is all up to how you exit. So in the end, practice every single direction. Forward direction, sideways direction. If you find yourself in a backwards position, you can be careful with this, but definitely practice it. That is your shoulder roll, also known as your parkour roll. It's the roll that you're going to be using when you're going to go forward, not sideways. Sideways for sideways roll, forwards for shoulder roll. So let's break it down. Step number 1, you've got to choose whether you want to practice it on concrete or grass. In the end, you're going to be doing both. So I'm going to be showcasing it on concrete because that's the athlete that we want to become. So let's get into it. Step number 2, we're going to still do exactly the same as the shoulder roll, but this time we're going that way. So you bring your feet forward. Both your legs are now facing the direction of where you want to roll. Step number 3, exactly the same, triangles. Without triangles, your face is going to hit the floor. So no matter what you do, any roll whatsoever, always a triangle. Hand straight onto the floor. Number 4, the most important thing with your shoulder roll is that we have to roll over our shoulder. So when you place your hands down for the triangle, you're going to go into this lunge position. The shoulder you're going to roll over, your hands are going to be on the other side. So I'm going to roll over my right shoulder, my triangle is on the left side. And then once you roll, you drop your elbow and you roll over that shoulder. A couple of tips to remember. When you roll, tuck your chin in, because if you open your head will hit the floor and it's not good, especially rolling on concrete. Then, to go fast into your roll is the most important thing. If you roll slow, you're just going to flop. So in order to roll fast, the leg that is behind here, you're going to push into your roll. So breaking it all the way down, we're in this lunge position facing forward, our triangle on the opposite side, our leg ready, tuck your chin in and push over your shoulder. You may be asking, when should I use this roll versus the sideways roll? Well, that comes down to you as the parkour athlete to see what happens when you do your skill. Sometimes you're going to be in this position and you have to roll forward. Sometimes you fall over sideways and you do the sideways roll. By learning both the rolls, you'll be able to fall safely at any given time, so practice both of them. Monkey walks, using your hands to absorb impact while moving forward. This is a prerequisite to your animal landings and other hand movement in future level skills. So let's break it down. Step number 1, when you're doing your monkey walks, we want to go sideways. And so we do not point our toes forward and do it like this. We do it as if we're doing our cartwheels and our toes are facing sideways and we're going down and into it. So making sure it's that way, going that way. Step number 2, it's all about how you bend over into the monkey walk. Most important, we do not do this. We don't bend our backs, we have to bend our knees, keeping our back nice and straight and going into a squat position. So as we're going across, we go into a squat, then you can bend your back to get your hands to the floor. Do not go into this position because it's going to hurt your lower back. So making sure that we're sideways, bending your knees, and then leaning forward into your hips to stand up. Number 3, we're talking about hand positioning. How far should you put your hands in front of you? Well, actually, it comes down to how fast you are going into your monkey walks. So if we're doing something a little bit slower, you can put your hands close to your legs, and that is totally fine. But if we're going faster, well, we need space to increase speed. And so we're going to leap into it with further hand placement. Parkour is all about adjusting as your environment changes and how much effort you put into it. So get out there and give it a try. Quadrupeds, the most important fundamental skill that you need to master in parkour. You'll be in this position for a lot of the skills that you'll be learning. So let's break it down. Step number 1, when we're in this position, hands and feet nicely far apart and our backs has to be flat like a table. We do not want our bum in the air and we definitely don't want to be in a frog position. Nice flat table. Step number 2, how do we walk with all of our hands and feet at the same time? In order to move forward, if you're using your right hand, you're going to be moving your left leg. And so from here, right hand, left leg, opposite side, opposite leg. And you should feel this motion of being able to move forward. Step number 3 is sort of a common mistake to avoid. When you're doing this, we do not want our legs out nice and wide. Sometimes people refer this to bear walks and they do out like that. We don't want to do this. Parkour in this quadruped, we want control because eventually we want to be able to do these on rails and really small positions and hard places. And so we need to be nice and precise, feet nice and close, and control as we're coming along. The ground Kong, a powerful skill to master that will unlock your Kong vaults. So let's break it down. Step number 1, we're going to get into our crouching position with our legs together. Being able to go into this position. Your heels can come off the floor, that is totally fine. And so when we're in this crouch position, knees in front, and then our hands are shoulder width apart by our side, and you have to be comfortable in this position right here. Step number 2, we want to be comfortable with falling into a leap position. And so when you're now comfortable like this, I want you to stand up slightly, placing your hands in front and falling into it and catching yourself. So we're able to catch ourselves when we're falling over. Step number 3, now we have to move our legs. And so here we can just get into our quadruped position that we were before. And this time we're going to try and jump both our feet between our legs at the same time. So in here, we're going to jump and catch ourselves in between. Moving forward and catching yourself. And we slowly do these to feel comfortable. Step number 4, we're now going to add both your hands and feet at the same time to try and create some sort of continuous momentum. We can start off really small first before we start doing bigger leaps. And so getting ready into your position, and we're just going to do really small ones as we continue moving through. Now you want to practice just leaning further and just further and faster. Let's do it. So small, and then bigger, and then faster.
Congratulations, you've just completed element number 1, impact, the fundamental building blocks to all parkour skills to come. So let's move into the second element, the one that will help you conquer any obstacle. It's one of my favorite ones actually, so let's get into it. Second element, vaults.
The safety vault, the number 1 parkour vault skill you have to master. This skill will be in every other parkour skill that you will be practicing. So master it, conquer it. Let's break it down. Step number 1, hand placement. As you place your hands down, we don't want it too close and we don't want it too wide. Shoulder width apart is perfect. So making sure that you're nice and strong. We do not want to bend our elbows. This is not the vault. This is the vault. Being able to go up into this position. Step number 2, we're going to figure out our feet positioning. For this one, we'll always have to remember, which leg do I want? This leg or this leg? The answer, you have to be able to do both. And so today we're just going to do our left leg. And so, how far should you put your leg away from your hands? Well, if it's too close, this other leg, you're going to clip, you're going to fall over. If it's too wide, well, we're not doing the splits, it's not good. We want to go somewhere in the middle so that this inside leg can go through. This is the motion we want, and coming down. Step number 3, now that we've gotten to the top, we have to understand the swing through. As we're doing the vault, we always have to remember opposite arm to opposite leg. This is our A-frame with your middle leg going through. We start off with 2 hands for power, but we go into step. From here, you can sit down and push off for those practicing for the first time. Once you feel comfortable, you can place both hands down, step in, and over the wall. Step number 4, we have to figure out our foot placement, but down on the floor. The way to remember this is, whatever hand goes down is the leg you're going to step off. So right hand down, right leg step, and up. If you're going to do left hand down, it's left leg step. And for the advanced bonus tip, for those looking to master this skill, we have to focus on our hips. And so the way that our hips work is that this is known as our closed position. We want to open our hips as we exit. And so, if we come into our skill and open our hips, we're able to exit out of the vault much stronger and faster. And now we put it all together, both hands come down, leg comes on top, swing through as we step all the way through. We practice this with both left and right hand. 2 hands, step up, push through, hips out. The sit spin, the easiest vault that you can do and master right now. So let's break it down. Step number 1, this vault requires you to enter backwards. We're going to start off with placing your hands down to sit on the wall first, and then you're just going to try and step up, around, using your hands to finish safely. Step number 2, now that we're on backwards, we're going to try and get over without putting your foot on top of the wall. This requires you to kick over using your hand behind here for support, kicking and going straight over without touching the wall with your feet. And step number 3, this is actually quite optional. I like this move as a slow move to try and get over. I usually use this when I do a big day of jumping, my legs are sore. If you're holding something, you can do this, sit down and get over. But for those who want to make this skill a little bit more advanced, we can use it as a hip spin that you did on the floor, but this time up on here. And so what we're going to do, you're going to place your hand onto the wall, nice and fast, and then try and kick over. That's the advanced version of the sit spin. Turn vaults, a fundamental parkour skill that allows you to go to the other side of the obstacle without falling over. Let's break it down. Step number 1, we're going to be focusing on the safety hand. This is the most important thing when it comes to any of the turn vaults or progressions after this, because number 1 rule, you do not let go of this hand, because when this hand is activated and you go around, this hand never lets go. That is basically a turn vault without the jump, but I'm safe because of this hand. You let that go, you're going to be falling into the water or anything else you don't want to be falling in. So, as we do the turn vault, this is your safety hand. It goes upside down, thumbs on top. This is my right hand, so I will be going over my right shoulder. If you're going to go left side, you're going to do left hand, left turn. And so with the right hand here, we're going to be practicing just stepping over, turning your hand around, and then coming onto this side. That is the earliest version of the turn vault you can practice. Step number 2, now we're going to add the jump into it. Since we've got our safety hand nice and ready, our other hand is going to be placed over here. We're going to practice the jump. So jumping up and getting ready to put your foot on the bar and feeling comfortable there. Once you're nice and comfy, you get on top, and this is where you can practice your safety or your step vault, up, round, catching yourself on the other side. I do recommend not having a drop on the other side. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes, for you to practice. Have something so that you're not falling into water or something. So you're able to do it on both sides. From here, step up and turn around. Step number 3, now we're going to try and jump over without touching this with your feet. And so we have our safety hand getting ready to jump over the bar without touching it with your feet. That's the goal. So on this side, with my left hand, jumping over and landing. As you can see, this hand, your safety hand, does not let go of the bar. Step number 4, now that you've practiced jumping over, the final bit we have to practice is with your hips. As you jump over the bar, we need to be able to turn your hips so that you land back in the same position. What we could do is you could hold onto the bar like this. Imagine you've just jumped over and then turn your hips. And so be able to jump and turn your hips in the middle of the air. If I'm going this way, I'm going to jump, turn my hips, jump and turn, and catching myself back this way. And all we're going to do now is practice turning your hips closer and closer until you can catch onto the bar back on this side. And so going this way, putting it all together, safety hand, getting ready to jump over, turn your hips, catch. Jump, turn, catch. That's your turn vault. the Kong vault, the most powerful vault that you can do in all of parkour. Master this and you'll become unstoppable. Let's break it down. Step number 1, we have to focus on our hand placement. As we're placing our hands down, make sure it's not too close and make sure it's not too wide. Shoulder width apart is perfect. As we're placing our hands down, make sure you don't bend them. We're not doing push-ups. We got to make sure that our arms are nice and strong. Don't lock your arms though. We don't want this nice and tight, just strong. And so when you're able to do your kongs, you should be able to push down into it. Step number 2, we now have to focus on our hips, because if we don't get high enough, your knees are gonna hit this wall. So we have to practice placing our hands down and jumping up, bringing our knees and our hips as high as we can. Getting comfortable with this skill. Step number 3, we can now bring our feet on top of the wall. The way we do this is we can do 1 foot at a time. Place both hands down, get your hips up, and try get your leg inside. We never put our legs on the outside, it has to go on the inside in the middle. So now, the way to do this is that we have to lean forward. Never lean backwards in your Kong, make sure you're leaning forward into it, because this will allow you to get your leg on top. Lean forward. Try your other leg and up. And then when you're comfortable, try and push, get both legs on top. You are allowed to let go with your hands after. Step number 4, now that we're comfortable with getting on top of the wall, we have to now be able to get down from the wall. This is where we simply practice our step outs. So as we're up on top of the wall, we go up and step off. If stepping off is a little bit too hard, you can practice up and then using your safety vault to get down. Step number 5, we have to really emphasize your leaning forward of the chest, because now we are ready to try and go over without using your legs on the wall. The reason why we have to lean forward is because we are trying to reach for the floor with your body. And we're leaning forward. We never lean backwards because of 2 reasons. Your head can then touch the wall, which is not good. Or if you do your Kong and then lean back, you might end up placing your hands down to try and save yourself, but then end up injuring yourself. Even if we practice, you know your animal landings or your rolls, so go into those instead. So when we practice, lean forward, use your animal landings to safely practice the skill. Step number 6, now that you know what it feels like to go that way, we have to set ourselves up with your feet to set up. The same as the speed vault, if you're too close to the wall, you're gonna place your hands down and then clip your knee right here. Not good. We need to do the same. Take a good step away, and this is where you're going to start your Kong, because by the time you're here, there's no way you're gonna clip your knee. So get into this position. Another one to focus is that we never jump off with 2 legs at the same time. This is a very different skill. We want to practice our Kongs, so we're going into the split leg and leap. This leap here is going to help you get your hips up. Step number 7, we're going to be focusing on our fingers, because this is the final piece of mastering your Kong vault. When you place your hands down here, you can just use your hands to push and try and get over, but we want to master the Kong vault, which means adding power, precision, and speed. And we do this by using your hands on the wall, grabbing it, and then pull the wall behind you. This is the extra key feature that people forget to use, and it makes and breaks amazing Kongs. So what I mean by this is that once you place your hand on the wall, you pull it as hard as you can and pull. that creates immense power by just using your hands alone. Just a tip with your fingers, it's up to you whether you want to put your hands flat on the wall or your fingers over the edge. It actually comes down to the type of obstacle you're using and how you're exiting off the wall. There is no right or wrong way. Practice both of them. And now we put everything together for you to do your Kong vault. Getting ready, making sure you've got enough speed, give yourself space to jump over, leap and pull. Coming out. Master the Kong vault because it's going to be the one that you're going to love the most. Get out there, play differently.
Two down, 4 more to go. Make sure you're ticking this off on your checklist as we're going through. If you don't have it yet, you can download it for free in the description down below. Let's move on to the third element, the one that's going to make you travel the furthest in parkour, and that is jumps.
Welcome to the parkour element of jumping. Before we really get into it, we firstly have to understand on how to land our jumps. There are 2 ways to land. We just have the landing when you land and you can walk away. That is the best way to land majority of your moves because it's just safer. You land and step off. But for those who are looking for the juicy stick, the classic precision jump, that is what I'm going to be explaining in this video. So come on closer, let's break it down. Step number 1, we're going to be focusing on foot positioning. And so when we do our precision jumps, we always have to make sure that half of our foot is on and half of our foot is off. So never flat foot. This is going to hurt our heel, which is going to shock your knees, your hips, bad for your body. As we're going for the edge, we do not want to go for our toes because if you're too toesy, you might slip and then hit your shins. Not a good idea. And so half foot on, half foot off. Step number 2, now that we understand how our feet works on there, how do we get into the precision landing? Now we talk about body positioning. As we are doing the jump, we are always trying to stick our feet in front. We call this position your pike position. As you are piking for your landing, we are now away from the wall and we absorb the landing into your squat. This is going from leaning back into the squat position and then landing your jump. As a small example, we will then jump into your stick. Come closer, take a look at half my foot on, half my foot off. We always do it no matter what. Step number 3, we're going to be looking at feet positioning after you land. As you can see, both of my feet are together. We do this because it helps keep your legs nice and strong. We never land with our feet apart. If you actually land on the wall and your ankles move, check this out. Your ankle might fall in and you'll roll your ankle and it's not good for your leg whatsoever. We keep our feet together, we keep it precise. It's called a precision for a reason. And because it's small like this, we can land on even smaller objects. Check this out. Precision landing. Yeah! That is the precision jump that you must master in order to move into all of the amazing jumping skills that you'll be learning right after this. The standing jump, the classic parkour jump that you'll be using to get from A to B. With all of the jumps that we'll be practicing, the landing technique that you'll be using can either be the precision landing as a stick or the landing and step out. It's up to you. These tutorials are just going to help you on to do the skill itself. So let's break it down. Step number 1 is all about feet positioning. as we are stepping on the block, we are not going to have our toes behind. We're actually going to have our toes slightly over the edge. Your toes should feel like they're curling just over the edge a little bit, because you're going to use this to then push off the edge to go forward. So standing on the block, as you can see, I have a little bit of space here. My toes go over the edge and push. Step number 2, we're going to talk about body positioning, on how we're going to create this power to go all the way up. We're going to practice going up before going out. So let's break it down. We're going to start with your hands above your head for maximum extension, because as we throw our hands back, this big swing is what's going to generate the power. And so with our hands above our head, we swing back, our hands as high as we can. Now, the most important thing is all about timing. If you throw your arms and then jump, timing is wrong. If you jump and then throw your arms, timing is wrong. We have to lift our legs and get into maximum extension at the same time. So all you need to practice is standing still, coming down, and maximum extension at the same time. Again, coming down and maximum extension. Once you understand that, then we're going to put it together to go for distance. Step number 3, we're going to be combining your feet on the edge with your hands above your head, ready for big launch. But before we actually jump, there is one extra thing that we have to do, and we have to learn to fall over. Let me explain. As we are standing still, if we jump, we're going to go straight up. So what we need to do is we actually have to fall a little bit. As you are falling, when you just about fall off, then you jump. And when we jump, we're now moving that direction. Watch this. I will start to fall and then jump. I start moving that way. And so now we combine all of these together. Your hand is ready. Your feet is off the edge. We go into your squat position, and this is where you start to fall, lean forward, and then jump. This timing of falling is what you need to practice to make sure that you get it correct. Right? Wrong timing, wrong distance. For step 4, we're not going to be practicing the jump, we're actually going to be practicing the landing part. Because adding everything together, you now know how to jump, but what are you going to do for your landing? So let's break it down. As you're going for the landing, we're going to demonstrate the precision landing, so right on the edge. As we jump from one spot to another, we go full extension, lean forward, jump. And as you can see, my hands are behind me. When I land for the precision, my hands are behind so that I can go into the squat position, and I land like this. So as you're in the air, we jump, we pike, and then land, squat, nice and strong. That's how you land your standing jumps with a precision landing. Plyometrics, we like to call them plyos. They are standing jumps consecutively. They might look easy, but actually quite hard to execute. So I'm here to break it down. Step number 1, you firstly have to master the standing jump. If you haven't done that yet, go and do that, then come back. Step 2, once you've mastered the standing jump, we're ready to go into the next one. And so essentially, plyos is just standing jump, forever, as many as you can do until you get tired. And so, how do you connect the two together? It actually comes down to hand positioning. Remember how I said that when you land with your standing jump, with your hands behind you, and then we go into squat position, that is correct. But with your plyometrics, however, once you land with your arms behind you, you actually now swing into your second jump. take a look at this. If we land like this, what does this look like? The bottom position of your standing jump. And so we go from standing bottom position to jump, landing into your bottom position again to just jump. That's how you do plyometrics. And so you can practice your plyometrics just standing still by going up and down like a bunny rabbit. Hands up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That is how you do plyometrics. This time, all you have to do is just find some fun obstacles to do your precision jumps at and just go for infinity and beyond. The running jump, the level up from your standing jump, but this time you're just gonna run faster, harder, more power and commitment. With this, almost anything you should be able to jump over. So let's break it down. Step number 1, before we even do any jumping whatsoever, you have to master what's up here. Because the biggest thing that I see people fail with any jumps that they do is their lack of commitment. What is commitment? That is being able to say, yes, I will do it, and actually do the jump. Imagine running really fast, running, and then you jumping in the middle of the air. You're like, oh no, I don't want to do it anymore. Ah! You're gonna hurt yourself so much, right? So this time, in your mind, no matter what happens, you say to yourself, I am going to do it. I'm going to commit and 100% hit this jump. And worst case scenario, you hit the bounce and you're fine. So number 1 thing to always remember, commit to your jumps. Mental game. Step number 2, now that we've got our strong mind, let's talk about on how we could actually do the skill. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to practice on how we can run really fast, because a fast run means a big jump. So let's break that down. Sprinting, we all know how to sprint. Nice, strong start, strong commitment. We do not want to, no stutter steps. When you go for your run, you know exactly how many steps you take and you power through. Strong run, strong commitment, strong jumps. Hone that in. Step number 3, now that you've got your running, you've got to your block and you're ready to jump, what do? Foot placement. Here is where you get to practice a very cool skill called the step up. You place your foot down and you drive your knee up. You can practice this just by itself like this. That knee drive is what's going to help you propel yourself really nice and strong, and then you go into your pike for your finish. And so, for the smaller one, do your run and step up into your jump. We can do this both right leg and left leg. Strong legs. Step number 4, strong run, strong step up. What do we do with our hands? The same with almost every other skill. We have to time it properly with this leg, sinking it. As we drive this leg up, boom, at the same time. This timing is everything. And so, when we do our step up, match your hands with that leg drive. Step number 5, you're now ready to actually commit to the jump. Find a spot that you want to practice landing on. Find your takeoff where you want to take off. And this is where you put all the skills together to slowly make your way there. Sometimes for a big jump, it's a little bit scary to commit to at first. So what we do is we do little jumps. And so we practice getting closer and closer. Big sprint, jump. Okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable. Let's go a little bit more. Now I run a little bit faster, jump a little bit harder. Okay, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer. And now, this is where you have to figure out how close can you go before you get too close. Once you get into this comfortable position of being able to feel like I'm ready to commit, you go into your pike mode and making sure that when you're in the air, you're piking, either for your precision landings or your step outs. And step number 6, and I will say it again and I will always say it for anyone who ever asked me on how I'm able to conquer these jumps, and that is step number 1, commitment. Once you're finally ready to do the jump, you say to yourself, I am going to do it, and you have to hit the jump, regardless of what happens. Let's go. Hit the jump every time. Mental game, try hit it, one bang. That's the rule. Strides, the upgraded version of your running pre. Exactly the same, but we're gonna do one leg at a time. Let's break it down. Step number 1, you have to master the running jump. If you haven't done that yet, go watch that tutorial, master it, then come back. Step number 2, in order to practice landing on one leg, this is where all of the force is into here. So we can do some balancing exercise and just get this leg stronger so we can take this impact. And it's sort of what I'm doing right now, being able to feel like you can take this impact. Because if you cannot take this load on either leg, how are you being able to jump from one side to the other using that? So go out, play around, and see if your one leg can take the impact. Step number 3, now that we're ready to take the load, we're going to go from static load to momentum load. So let's get into it. We're going to be practicing lunges. So lunging into your step and then pushing off that leg. We can add a little bit of speed and jump into your lunge, jumping out of it, making sure you really drive that leg nice and strong. You got to be able to do that with both your left and right leg. Practice that off many different ones, whether it's this ledge, it doesn't matter. Practice your one leg lunges. Step number 4, we can now practice actually doing the stride itself. And so here I'm in the scenario where I could go into my step with a bit of impact and then kick my leg for the stride. And there you go. If you can go out and find different spots to do this, that's how you practice it. Come check this out. I can do it here too. I can go into my stride. You can basically stride everywhere. Your world is just your playground. And to finally put it all together, the only way to practice is for you to get out and find some obstacles to practice your strides on. If you don't have obstacles, that's not a problem. You could actually do it flat on the floor as well. And so here, you can just practice your strides.
Let's go! You're halfway through the video. Real quick, if you're loving all of this, but you want to take your parkour to the next level, then I've got something for you. Parkour360 is my mission to inspire as many people as possible, but I know there's a few of you that just want to master these parkour skills, so let me introduce to you Parkour360 Academy. Inside, you'll find the world's largest online parkour library to master the art of movement. From safety landing techniques to vaulting over obstacles and conquering advanced tricks and flips, you'll never have to get lost searching for new skills ever again and spend more time learning parkour every day. You'll
You'll also get instant access to our global parkour challenge called Skill Quest, where we post 3 challenges from beginner to pro for you to go out and complete, upload them onto the community, and get feedback during our live Q&A sessions. More importantly, you'll find other parkour athletes to connect with, access the global parkour spot maps with new locations updated frequently, and learn from other tracers with years of parkour experience. If you're a beginner looking to get started for the first time or a seasoned parkour athlete to go professional, you're in the right place. And right now, I've got a special offer happening. If you start your 7-day free trial, I'll personally jump on a one-on-one call with you and we'll create a custom 90-day parkour roadmap for you to train with. It's totally for free, my present for you. More information about that at the end of the video, so let's get back to the 4th element, the one that proves your strength in parkour, the element of walls. That is your wall run. Going up the wall is the most important thing that you'll be learning with any wall skill. So let's break it down. Step number 1, we're going to be placing your foot on the wall, as that's how you're gonna get up the wall. But there's a right and wrong way to do this. So with your foot, everybody's foot placement is actually different. It all comes down to where your hips are. And so the best thing to do is standing up against the wall, measure where your hips are, and that is how high you should be putting your foot. If you put your foot too low, you're going to slip into the wall. Not good for your knee, not good for your face. If you put your foot too high, well, actually, you're going to start doing a wall flip, because this time you're going to push away from the wall. There is a sweet spot, and it's literally where your hips are. So measure that, place your foot right there. Step number 2, we're going to use our hands. So now that we have your foot on the wall, we need to throw our arms up in order to get to the top. Timing is everything. If you get this wrong, it's not going to work. You're going to look like a weird fish in the air. So how does this work? I know that I'm going to be putting my left foot on the wall. This left foot and your arms actually time at the same time. Watch this. Hands and feet. Bang. Exactly the same time. Again, back here and boom. And then all you're doing is your hands continue to go to the top. Now watch it when I add a bit of speed. Timing is everything. And number 3, now that you know how to kick the wall, throw your arms up, we're now to get to the top. And so all you have to do is find a wall that is suitable for your height that you can practice. So kick the wall, time it, grab the top. When you grab the top, we're in our hanging position. One leg down, one leg up, ready to go into our next skill, which is the climb up. The arm jump, an awesome skill to learn, be able to go from one spot to another using your upper body strength. Let's break it down. Step number 1, and the most important step that you are not allowed to miss whatsoever, and that is, whenever you do an arm jump, feet must always hit the wall first, hands second. Remember, feet and then hands. Because if you did your hands first, it's hands, face, and then the rest of your body. So never go for hands first, always feet, then hands, face is then always safe. Step number 2, we're going to practice what is known as the splat. And that is hitting the wall and then just bouncing backwards a little bit. And so when we're in this position, make sure hit the wall with your feet first, hands after. And then just bounce down. And that is where you practice your safety before committing to the big grab. Step number 3, we're now going to hold onto the wall as we're doing the arm jump. And so, as we're in this position, hands coming forward, grabbing the wall, and you're going to lower yourself down as if you're doing the wall climb down. So we jump into the climb down, and then from here, however you need to get on top of the wall. With the level 1 climb up. Yeah! The climb up, the skill you'll be using the most when getting around with the walls. And there are 4 main levels to it. So let me break it down. This is level 1. You try and get up the wall in any way possible. This is the people who are starting for the first time. Whew. And just make it up. Level 2, you go up into your chest and push to the top with a little bit more strength. Level 3, we now introduce the knee drive into your chest push. Up into your chest and push to the top. Faster, but not there yet. That's why we have level 4. And now for level 4, the ultimate parkour climb up. Perfect knee drive straight to the top. Bang! That is your ultimate climb up. Let's break it down. The first step, we have to understand the hanging position. And so, the hanging position is 1 foot up on the wall and 1 foot hanging down. The leg that is hanging down is what is going to be your knee drive. And this is your knee driver. Bang! All the way up into the top of the wall. Step number 2, now that we know that we have to drive our knee inside this hanging position, we now have to also pull yourself up on the wall. It's both the technique of timing your knee and the pull. What I mean by that is, when you're up on the wall like this, you need to be able to pull yourself up into the top position. Step number 3, we're now in the top position. And so once we get to the top, we've done our knee drive, we pulled up, and now we go into our chest. Once we're in our chest position, this is where you practice your dips. You'll dip into the push to the top. And this is some exercises that you can do from here, being able to go down and push up on top of the wall. Going down and pushing up. And so you can also get a lower wall and being able to jump into this position all the way up. That's like a little cheat code. And so here we then push and up, and then you just have to mount it. Get your legs on top and you've conquered the wall. And number 4, we're going to add it all together. Timing is everything. The same as the wall run, your feet and hands must be at the same time in order to get to the top. The same here. As you drive your knee, you're going to pull up on the wall at the same time to get your chest on top and then push to finish. So into this position, you drive your knee and pull into your chest and then climb to finish. Now that we're on top of the wall, how do we get down? The climb down. That's the skill that you're going to be using whenever descending any big walls. Step number 1, we're going to be sitting down on the wall for this example. And what we're going to do, you're going to get nice and comfortable, and then we're going to place our hand on this side, making sure your fingers are facing away. And we're going to try and get your hips onto the other side of the wall by turning around. There you go. And then from here, all you're going to do is a reverse climb up. And now we go to our chest get our elbows back, and just do the opposite of going up. Now we go down, and you can go into your animal landing. Climb downs. That is a 180. As you can see, I was stuck in that position, and if I jumped straight down, I would have landed in the bush. And so the 180 is an awesome skill that not only helps get away from the wall, but it looks awesome as well. So let's break it down. Step number 1, you'll be starting in the hanging position. So as we are hanging, you now have to choose which leg you're going to be pushing against the wall. The way that I remember is opposite leg to opposite shoulder. If I want to turn to the right, I will then push off with my left. If I want to go over my left shoulder, I push off with my right. This is what it looks like. You go up. If I go over my right shoulder, I push with my left. Step number 2, we're going to now introduce the knee drive. And so, the same with our climb up, we drive our knee as we're pushing up into the 180. Number 3, this is where you get to choose if you want to go over your right shoulder or your left shoulder. The most important thing to remember is opposite leg to opposite shoulder. For this demonstration, I will be going over my right shoulder, which means I'll be pushing over my left. As we're in this position, you can see that my right leg is hanging, but I have to switch it up with my left leg into hanging because that's going to knee drive into the 180. And so now that my left leg is down, it goes into the knee drive, up, and then push. And now putting that together, we go into your hanging, knee drive, push into 180. Let's put it together. Hanging, knee drive, push.
Fourth element done, walls, tick. Let's go. Now, imagine this. You're able to lock in, learn all these skills and level up your parkour game. You'll be able to go outside and climb over any walls, jump over any rails, and pretty much just conquer any obstacle that's in your way. Your friends will just suddenly be like, what? How'd you do that? That was one of the coolest things that happened to me when I first started doing parkour. And when that happened, man, it got me hooked. And I hope that happens to you as well. So let's move into the fifth element, all about your biggest swings possible. That's right, we're moving into bars.
Bar swinging, the fundamental skill that you need to master that will allow you to go from 0 all the way to swinging potential. So let's break it down. To swing on any bars, if you don't have one, you can definitely use trees or anything you can get yourself swinging on. If you do have bars, I recommend getting some chalk. This will allow you to not slip when practicing this. We have this chalk on our shop at conquest.shop. Step number 1, we've got to be able to hang on the bar first. So by getting your hands on top, making sure you're nice and strong. Here, we do not want to have our hands way too wide. This is not swinging potential. I personally love to swing with my hands together, but this is more of an advanced move. So you can start off with just shoulder width apart, and you should feel comfortable with just hanging right here and just do little swings. Nice. Your goal is to be able to hang for at least 30 seconds. That means you've got good shoulder strength to get into big swing territory. Step number 2, we now have to start our swings. From here, we call them kickstarts because you're going to kick forward into your swing. The higher your legs, the more they fall, the bigger the swing. So to start off, you can do small ones. So kick forward and then swing. And then from here, all you're doing is just feeling the rhythm. We always do a backwards dismount whenever we finish. So here is the other version, but much bigger. So getting on, kicking as high as you can for big swings, maximum. Bigger kick starts, bigger swings. Step number 3, as you're doing the swings, we have to always remember to dismount. A dismount is getting off the bar. For this tutorial, we're going to be doing backwards dismount and landing over here. Forward dismount is our laches, which is in the next tutorial. So let's break this down. As you are on the bar and you've got your swings happening, we always move backwards and then fall this way. The reason for that is because we always can see where we are falling. If you are not ready for it and you do a forward swing, you might fall off the bar. So for now, practice with your backwards dismount for ultimate safety. Step number 4, have some fun on the bars. Here we have the opportunity, you can start your swing by jumping into it and then doing your swings. We've got this really fun one here where we can jump up and then go into your swing. We've got multiple different levels of the bars here. We can even do little swings. The whole entire world is your playground, so get out and play differently. The pullover, the easiest way to get on top of the bar, and we're gonna break that down. Let's go. Step number 1, I fully recommend to be able to do a pull-up first, because that's really going to help you. And so shoulder width apart, being able to do a nice strong pull-up is going to make everything else much easier. Step number 2, we should be able to do knees to chest and pivot up and down. Step number 3, now you can do the pull and pivot at the same time, hitting the bar right here. So as you come up, we're gonna swing and pull up to the bar as you come up. Step number 4, now that you've gone up and your hips are to the bar, we actually have to focus on our feet. So, our feet is right here at the moment, but we need to do the pullover on this side. So once we get to the top, you have to get your foot on the other side of the bar. Once it's here, this will help you go down to the floor. So again, once you get up, your feet can't be here. They have to go on the other side, and you will naturally drop into your pullover. And so just make sure feet goes on the other side, and then you'll be able to do it. Step number 5, if the big bar is a little bit too hard to do the pull-up and everything, you can actually do the small one and practice just jumping into it. And so from this position, we just jump, get our hips to the bar, then remember, legs over on the other side to drop into it. So jumping up and kick over into your pullover. Rollovers, another way to dismount off the bar, but now going forward. So let's break it down. Step number 1, we're gonna get into our front support. And before we even roll over, we need to position the bar on our hips. And so our hip bone is right here. We never wanna go onto our belly button because this hurts. Push nice and strong, and here is our starting position. Step number 2, when we roll over, we never switch our hands or move it. Because if you do that and you start rolling and then you suddenly switch your hands, you're letting go of the bar. And so, when we practice our rollovers, we always hold onto the bar and never move our hands. They roll with the bar. Step number 3, I understand that it is quite scary to just go for it, so we're gonna break that down to help with the mental state. The first one I like to do is what we call the coat hanger. And so when we get into our top position, you can bend over, holding onto the bar, and then bend in half. This position, you should feel like you're on your hips comfortably, and you should be able to just stay here. From here, your legs is what's going to help you go over the bar. So when we hold on, get both of your legs to go where your bum is, kick your bum, and you will naturally start rolling over. Step number 4, now instead of doing your coat hanger, we're going to try and just roll over. The most important one to remember is kicking your bum with your heel to help you go around. And so when we go up, we lean forward and kick your bum, and that will help you go all the way around. Step number 5, now that you've got the confidence to try and go all the way around, keeping your body straight as possible. So in this top position, we lean forward as fast as we can into a full rollover. You don't always have to do that. I also like to do the half variation because then it's also slower and more control. Play around with all of those 3 different levels to find the one that you like. Now that we're on top of the bar, how do we get down? Like this. Toe shoot dismounts. Let's break it down. Step number 1, as you're on top of the bar, we have to make sure our legs are straight and our arms are locked. We do not want to bend our elbows because then you'll probably go into the bar and then struggle all the way down. So for this one, keep your arms straight, keep your legs locked. Step number 2, we can practice this on the floor. And so, we are going to be in the sitting position. This is what it looks like as you do the dismount. So from here, you're going to lock your arms in this position and feel comfortable right here. Hello. And so here, if you can lift yourself off the floor, this is what it's going to look like when we go to step number 3. Step number 3, we're going to now put number 1 and number 2 together. So remember, arms nice and straight, locking this body, do not bend your elbows, and then we're going to sit backwards into that L sit. So from here, lean back, keeping your arms straight. You should feel like you are swinging into it, like a pendulum. Step number 4, we're talking about the dismount itself. Now that we understand the top position and going down, the most important thing is what you do with your feet. You have to bring your feet up in front of you. Do not go down and keep your feet down because you're just going to crash. What we need to do is we need to pivot and get our feet up. Remember to keep it nice and straight and go into your L sit. So as you come up, we go into our L sit position, feet up to come down. Do not go into here and then just go straight down. That is not a toe shoot dismount. Make sure you keep your toes up. And to put it all together, you can practice on all the different heights. Here is the smaller one and it's exactly the same. Strong position, into your L sit, toes up, toe shoot dismount. Rail walking, the next level up from rail balancing. Let's break it down. Step number 1, before we even start walking on the rail, we have to understand the safetiness on how to get up on a rail and get off a rail. If you watch the balancing one, you know how to get up. We're going to start off with the 1 leg position. Because this rail is high for me to get my foot on top, we're gonna use the front support in the wall skills. And so remember, front support, then I'm gonna get my foot on top, then I'm gonna pivot, and then I'm going to get ready to stand up. From here, before we even practice walking, we need to be able to practice what happens if you fall. And this is a good opportunity to practice your side cats, all the way in the vault category. And so from here, if we fall, we always try and grab the rail and come down safely. Step number 2, before we even start fully walking, we have to understand on where our eyes are going to go. And so, we never look straight down, because that's going to be very hard. We never look into the distance, because then you don't know where you're going. You're basically going to look 45 degrees in front of you. And so, let's say for example, that bar right there, that's the next thing that I'm looking at. And so my eyes are always just moving forward slowly as I go. I'm not looking straight down because I'm going to lose my balance. I don't look straight up, just slightly in front of you. Step number 3, you're now ready to start your first walking steps. As we go up, we walk with toes to heels, like a ballerina. Toes, then heels, toes, then heels. If you go heel toe, you might accidentally slip off the bar, which is not good. We plant our toes and we walk forward, toes to heel as you step. We never want to walk sideways, right? We always want to try and get all of our feet on the bar. The good thing about walking is that sometimes it's actually easier than balancing, because if you're going to fall, I move my foot forward, which helps me not to fall. It's a little bit of a weird trick, but get up, try it. You might find it easier than just balancing. And there you have it. That is your rail balancing. So when you go out, even try cool challenges like this. There are so many different things that you can try and balance on. The thin bars, and even the big bars. Just go out and play differently. Yeah.
Ooh, you guys are almost there. We've done all 5 elements now. We're moving into the final one, the 6th one. This is going to be the hardest one to conquer, but it's a game changer once you can do it. Welcome to the 6th element, flips.
Welcome to the flips element. As a disclaimer, flips are an advanced parkour skill, and you should be practicing this with a friend or in a safe environment. Let's get into it. The cartwheel, the fundamental skill that you'll be practicing to master all of the flips that you'll be doing in the future. So let's break it down. Before we break it down, we're going to be doing only static cartwheels. So we're not going to be running and then going into it. We're going to be standing here, creating all of your power from your arms and your legs to go into your cartwheels. Step number 1, you're going to choose whether you're going to go this way or that way. In the end, it doesn't matter. You'll have to do both. So just choose one. Step number 2, body positioning. We're going to go sideways. So this is the same as your sideways roll. We're not going to go forwards as if you're doing your shoulder rolls. And so, making sure that we're going that way, but we're angling our body this way. Both feet parallel to where you're going to go. Step number 3, hand positioning. So with your feet facing this way, your hands are going to be facing the opposite way on the other side. So feet pointing that way, hands pointing backwards on the other side, feet facing forward again. So if you think about it, forwards, backwards, forwards. Step number 4, this is going to be about how we're going to get our hands down onto the floor with power. And so now we know that our hands face that way. We're not going to put our hands over our head and go down to the floor, we're gonna bring our hands in front of us to go down to the floor. This is a sweeping motion rather than the overhead version. So from here, you're going to sweep in front and placing your hands down onto the floor. Most important is that your hands and your feet are not too close together. We don't want to be doing small cartwheels. That's going to be too difficult. We want a nice hand placement, at least falling down about a good step away if I was stepping into it. And then from there, you give yourself enough room to do the cartwheel. So we sweep into your cartwheel. Step number 5, now that we know what we're doing with our hands, what about our feet? So let's get into it. Once we know how we put our hands down, our feet is the second point of power, because here our back leg is going to kick the sky in order to go over your head. This is also important because some people end up doing like sideways cartwheel. Although we're doing sweep with our hands, we want the cartwheel to go over our head with our feet. And so when we do the hands sweep, your leg will kick above you and go up above your head to go up straight. We do not want to do frisbees on the floor, because then your cartwheel will stay low and it doesn't work as well when we kind of do cool flips afterwards. So this is a no. Kick your back leg to go over your head for more power. The macaco, the fundamental skill to doing any backwards movement. So let's break it down. Step number 1, we're going to start in the squat position for this one. So using your hand, you can either choose to go over your right shoulder or your left shoulder, up to you. You should be able to do both. And so we're going to do over the right one for this one. So in this squat position, not legs in front, but one staggered behind the other. And using your hand, we're going to go over your shoulder and making sure your hands are facing back towards you. You're now in this open position. It feels a little bit awkward and strained, but that's what we want, because we're going to then push into this position. So making sure you feel comfortable right here. Step number 2, still staying on the floor. Once you're in this position here, we're now going to use our legs and jumping over. This is where we can sort of do what we did with the cartwheels, but with a macaco. So think about it like a half macaco, half cartwheel. You're in here, hands backwards, but do a cartwheel. And we're jumping sideways. So from here, placing your hands down, you can also push your other hand down when you have the more flexibility, and cartwheel. And that's it. And so what you're going to do is you're going to be in this position and keep doing these mini backwards cartwheels. Step number 3, once you've done your mini cartwheels, we're going to level it up. This time we have to focus on our hips. Now this is an important key factor that makes or breaks your macaco. Watch carefully. When we're in this position, you can see our hips are inside our body. We call this position your closed hips. With your macacos and many other tricks you'll be learning, we want open hips. We open our hips to the sky, and this allows us to have maximum extension in our body in order to get into that position. And so, for your macacos, it is super important that when you're in your cartwheel position, we then throw our hips into the open position. Now this is what makes your macaco look like a macaco, and especially if you're practicing back handsprings and big backflips, open hips is everything. So let's put it into practice. Hands down, kick over and push your hips. Push your hips open. That is a macaco. Step number 4, once you've learned on how to open your hips, place your hands down on the floor and feeling comfortable, we can now start in the standing position or understand on how to do the setup. So let's go into it. The first one is, if you're still on the floor, I like to do the hands between the legs setup. In here, this allows me to throw my hips open, because if it's on this side, I feel like this doesn't allow me to push my hips open. So from here, making sure that your hands are in the middle, you get to now throw your hips open as you go up. If you're in the standing position, make sure you don't throw too far backwards, because then you end up sort of doing like a back handspring. This is a macaco, so you want to make sure your hands get down to the floor. In your standing position, hand in the middle, and then swing, opening up your hips into the macaco. The side flip. Out of the 3 fundamental flips of side, front, and back, the side flip will be the #1 skill that you'll be using all the time. So let's break it down. Step number 1, we're going to start off with feet positioning. This is everything. Without the right steps into it, your side flip breaks. So let's look down here. When we use our legs, we're going to go into our double step. I like to go the step, the double step. As you run into it, whether you're going to, I side flip from my right shoulder, and so my right leg is going to be the last one that comes off the floor. And then when we run into it, we're going to place our left leg first, but in a sideways position. This is what we call blocking. You are blocking the floor and kicking into it. Can you see that I'm in this angled position? Super important, because we're going to use this to stop and push ourselves up. Once we're in this position, our now main leg is pointing forward or a little bit to the side. It just comes down to just feet placement. That just happens instantly on the spot. But make sure that they're not both facing sideways. We do not want this. So again, first one is going to be blocking in this angled position. Second one, placing down, ready to kick off the floor into your powerful side flip. Step number 2, now that we know our feet positioning, we're now moving to hand positioning. So come closer, we need to work this magic. And when we have our feet correct, we're going to now get our hands ready in order to go like this. This is what I like to call the T pose. From our T pose, we go into teapot pose. And so we have our hand down and we have our hand up as if we're doing teapot. And in this position, we are going to tip this way. It might look silly now, but you're going to be using this in your mind as we're going for the flip. Because once you have your teapot position, your first hand will throw up and forward, your back arm will throw back and up. So once we're in position with our legs, we have our hands nice and ready. You step into teapot and push. I'll go faster. Step number 3, now that we know what to do with our feet and our hands, we need to know what to do with our body. And this is all about body positioning. Very important, because with a side flip, we want to be able to go sideways in this direction, but a lot of people end up getting scared and they want to look on where they're going and they turn their head over their body trying to spot the floor, and they end up doing a barrel roll. The difference between a side flip and a barrel roll is the roll is we're rolling over our back, so they end up doing one of these, and then they probably land somewhere on the floor on their side and it's just uncomfortable. A side flip, we want to go over your head as if it was a cartwheel, and our body positioning looks forward the whole time in this position. We never want to open your shoulders and go backwards. The way to avoid this is to also practice your cartwheels in the same position, going that way with your side flips. So if we did this in slow motion, we are going this way. We do not want to. That's what happens when you try and have backwards body motion. So from here, in order to put it all together, you just want to make sure you have a strong plant with your foot. You're going to teapot positioning, and your body positioning is moving forward the whole time, spotting the floor in front of you. And then you can practice almost basically putting one hand down first and not putting the second hand down. Landing sideways. Step 4, now that you know what to do with your feet, hands, and body, this is where you put everything together in order to do the side flip. Just letting you know, you need to practice this a lot. You will end up going backwards, forwards, Websters. Flips are difficult. It's one of the most advanced skills that you can practice in parkour, but it is amazing once you get it. So just remember, you have to practice this skill. If you have a mat, please use that. I practice that first on like the sand, the beach, into water. I'm only demonstrating it on the floor because then you can see what it looks like when you finish it. So let's put it together. When we're standing back here, we want to run into it, and we run into the step position. So coming in and step into it, punching off the front leg. As you can see, my arms go into teapot and push. Very natural for me now. So the two together without the flip should be like this. You see how my body is facing forward? I did not do this. I'm turning backwards now. Wrong body positioning. This way. And then from there, you basically just got to send it. And step number 5, the final piece to put it all together. Once you've launched yourself into the air, you bring your body into a nice ball shape with a tight tuck in order to come in, flip in the air, release to go for your strong landing. Putting it all together feels amazing, and I can't wait for you to be able to land your side flip. The front flip, a very powerful flip to learn and to master. We usually do it off something rather than flat on the floor, so I'll be breaking that skill down. The first step is not even doing the flip itself. We gotta practice on what it feels like to go over your head in a rolling position. Now this one is actually different to your sideways roll or your shoulder roll because we're going to go 100% over your head in a straight line. So we can start this with placing both hands down in front of you, tucking your chin in, your head does not touch the floor, and then roll over your back. Do not do this on concrete. Your spine will be touching the floor, so find somewhere soft. Grass is perfect. Step number 2, now that you know how to roll forward and feel comfortable, we're gonna go into the setup into your flip. You usually have a nice strong run up, and we would do our running jump into the thing that you want to jump off. Here I'm using the block, so I'm going to run, jump, and then push straight off with both of my legs. This is the same as a side flip with your blocking. When you block with your leg, here we're going to block with our feet. Into the floor, both legs at the same time for a big punch. So we run, big punch off the floor. As you come in, for your hands, we keep them by your ears. If you forget this, I like to put my thumbs where my ears are, right here, because once you get to this position, you're going to throw your arms in front. As you can see, I throw my arms so hard, I naturally fall forward. That's what we want. From here, you throw into your flip. So with the correct setup, you run fast, you jump hard, you punch off the setup with your arms ready for the big throw. Do not flip yet, just practice that setup. Step number 3, this is the hardest part, and that is the flip itself. But before we actually do it, we have to talk about safety. The number one injury that you actually get in doing front flips is if you do your flip and you under rotate, which means that you land close to the floor. Do not freak out and put your hands behind you, because if you do this, you will land and then snap. Not good for your wrist or your elbows. So what we do instead is, if you do your front flip and you feel like you're going to under rotate, stay in your tucked position and roll out. Step number 4, now we're ready to do the actual flip. When you practice this, I recommend having a mat, have some sand. If you have a trampoline, that's even better. But we're going to demonstrate it on the grass here. So in order to do your actual flip in the end, we come down to the very final one, and that is body positioning before you actually do the flip. Now, you've just ran into it, ready to do the flip, but a lot of people are too scared to jump really high and then flip. They end up over here and then they just go, eh. What is this? Why are you flipping down here? We want to be able to flip up here. The biggest difference is that if you do your front flip here, you're going to land nice and high. If you do your front flip here and have it really weak, you're going to front flip here and most likely land on your bum. And so in the end, when you commit to your run to do your front flip, you have to be able to punch hard and high, and then all you have to do is make sure you have a nice tuck. Do not tuck like this. This is what we like to call the toilet tuck. We do not sit on the toilet. Chest, knees to chest. Nice big tuck all the way through. Commit to your landing. The backflip, the ultimate foundational skill to master that will unlock future potential for all skills to come. So let's break it down. Step number 1, with the backflip, you have to be strong with your whole entire body. What that means is that with your animal landings, how I said you have to be tough, the same goes with the backflip. When you do your backflip, you have to be strong all the way up and commit. We do not want to be flaky and go, because then it's just gonna go wrong. So the first thing that you have to do is make sure that you are committed, you're mentally ready, because the backflip is going to be a hard one to master, but once you do it, it's gonna be amazing. Step number 2, now let's break it down. With your backflips, we're going to start off with body positioning. We're going to be going that way, so we're going to be backflipping this way. With your body, we're going to be making sure that we're nice and strong by placing your hands above your head. We call this your start positioning. You start with your hands above your head, nice and tall. All of your power is going to come from your hands and the swing. So from number 1 is up here. Number 2, we're going to be swinging your hands back and you're going to be sitting in a small chair. This is your second position. From here, we've loaded our arms, ready for the big swing. I don't want to see your arms down here. Arms back, nice and strong, ready to go back into position number 1. So from here, we then bring our arms nice and tall all the way back up. And that's it. Number 1, number 2, and back to number 1 with a big jump. Practice that over and over again. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Step number 3, we're now going to get used to going backwards and over our head, ready for the rotation. So getting into your sitting position, we want to go straight back over our head. So no sideways roll or anything over your shoulder. We're going to go straight back. How do we do that? Well, the same with your front flips. You're going to have your hands by your ears, ready to catch yourself as you go backwards and pushing straight over your head. If your head touches the floor, that's sort of okay because it's going to be hard to tuck your chin in this position. That's why it's very important to practice on a mat or some sort of soft area. Now that you've done the roll on the floor, we're going to do from standing up. In this position, you're going to start nice and strong, lean into it, and you're going to push into your handstand and land with your feet. Do not land on your knees and try not land on your face. So here, we're going to roll back and push, landing on your feet. Step number 4, we're almost ready to do your full backflip, but there's one more thing we have to talk about, and that is your hips. We talked about this in a macaco where we have to go from closed to open hips. The same with your backflip. If you want to get a really nice big backflip, we throw our arms closed position into open position. And from here, we open up into your backwards roll, but now it's in the air to tuck and land. Now, watch my hips. Snap into your backwards roll. And number 5, we're going to talk about the tuck position. When you do your backflip, we do not want to tuck like this, right? This is your your toilet position. This is going to be very hard to go and rotate fast. The faster we rotate, the better we're going to get around. In order to do that, knees have to come to chest. So from here, I do not like to place my hand here. I like to go lower, and then you get to really pull this into this position. And so, when you're here, you're gonna practice rolling backwards and forwards on the grass in this position. So from here, rolling in this position, rolling like this. So you feel nice and strong. I do not wanna see this. You're like, well, what's this? You're gonna get nowhere with that. Nice, strong tuck, in and tuck, inside here. Big tuck all the way in. Remember, rule number 1, be nice and strong. Be rough with yourself. Big tuck all the way in. Without a good tuck, you're gonna be landing wrong. So get that right. And finally, you're gonna put everything that you've just learned all together to master your backflip. Let's break it down again. Firstly, strong body all the way through. Second, hand positioning from the top, ready to come down and into it. Number 3, remember your roll and your tuck all the way over your head. Do not go over your shoulder. We're going straight back. Then we're gonna make sure you're in your strong tuck position. No half tucks, full tucks. And then make sure you open your hips. It's a lot to remember, but by doing so, you'll master the backflip. Let's do it. Make sure that when you practice this, you have somewhere safe to do it. Whether you do it into water, onto a mat, have a trampoline, or you have a friend or a professional there to guide and spot you when you do your backflips. So get out there and play differently.
All right, you've just watched 90 minutes of pure parkour fundamentals that took me over 20 years to master. And if you can do all 30 skills, you can transform your whole entire world into your very own playground. Mind-blowing. For those who are wanting to take their parkour to the next level, I've got you covered. You can come and join us on Parkour360 Academy. We've got three main things. The first one is you get access to our full Parkour360 roadmap with over 250 skills for you to master, step by step, all laid out. The second one is you can join our weekly mentorship calls. You get feedback, analysis, and I just want to make sure you're not building the wrong habits from the start. And thirdly, you'll join our Parkour360 athlete community and you get access to our global spot map. So you know where to train and who to train it with, so you're just never doing it by yourself. The coolest part is you can start all this right now for free on our 7-day trial and you'll get that special super bonus. So when you join, you'll have to DM me the word roadmap and we'll jump on that one-on-one call where I'll create the 90-day custom roadmap just for you. I want to make sure that you get started correctly from the start, because if I had this when I first started, it would have saved me years of my parkour training. And it's something I wish I had. So I want you to have it. So head over to Parkour360.com, start today for free, and I'll see you on the inside. So guys, get out there, train hard, and go play differently. Let's go!